What's going on, everyone? Dots here, and today I'm bringing you all a video on my top 10 tips for new players in Black Desert Online. This game is very deep and has a lot of different aspects to it, but I want to make a video for you guys today, just giving you my top 10 things that I would look out for and keep in mind while starting your Black Desert journey. Going to be having some more guides coming out here on my YouTube channel as well, so be sure to subscribe to keep up to date with all of those guides that I put out. But like I said, today's video is just going to be some quick fire tips to help you get started. And kicking it right off, our first tip is to follow the main quest. Now, this has changed from the days of old in BDO. You might sometimes have a lot of older BDO players who maybe haven't been playing actively telling you, don't quest, only grind, never quest, it's not worth it, and that is not the way it works anymore. Following the main quest is extremely important. Not only do you get a good amount of contribution, which is an important currency that you basically earn while playing BDO, but you also level up incredibly quickly from 1 to 56 just by doing the main quest, and the main quest will also basically segue you into your awakening quest, which is an important thing for you to do because that is what allows you to unlock an additional weapon for your character as well as a new skill tree. You also get free pets, free mounts, you get breadcrumb quests that teach you about a lot of the game, you get some good gear from it. There are also other quests that are off of the main quest. They're suggested through the Black Spirit if you check that tab, that can get you some really good accessory pieces. It's a really good thing to do to get yourself into the game, get a lot of experience, contribution, some good starting gear. It's just a great thing to do, and I would recommend following it. My second tip is making sure to always be doing something while AFK. Now, I'm sure you've heard, if you've ever looked into BDO at all, that you will always have the game up in some capacity, and that is true. Thankfully, the good thing about BDO is that if you just hit escape and click like the power button, you can minimize BDO to the tray to basically prevent it from using a lot of resources on your computer. At that point, it will use basically nothing, but I would always have your account logged in doing something. Whether or not you have someone fishing, if you're processing raw materials for money, if you have your character literally just walking around to level up your breath, if you have your mount running in circles to level up the mount, if you go to a trader and get an item to carry around in a pack that will allow you to train strength, you just always want your account logged in doing something so that you are progressing even when you're not online. And actually, if you want to even level up a bit while you're not online, you can go get books of combat from the skill instructors near the target dummies in any city. And you can even set your character up to slowly gain some passive experience while you're not online, which is pretty sweet. My third tip, guys, is to sell things that you don't need as a new player. It's very easy to get into a trap of feeling like you need to save everything that you get. You'll have so many people tell you, man, this stuff's so important, you need to keep it, you need to save it, just keep it all, hoard it all, and you're gonna be like, okay, I don't know what any of this does, and you're gonna be throwing it all into your bank. But honestly, I wouldn't do that. I would say certain things you should save. You'll learn what those things are in time. But for the majority of items that you're getting that you go, I really don't need this, I would just sell it. The reason I recommend doing that is because of a piece of advice that was given to me early on, and I found it to be very true throughout my BDO journey so far. And it is that the silver that you will gain from selling these items greatly outweighs the benefit of keeping them to use them later on. That early game silver that you desperately need as a new player is going to be way more beneficial to you from selling these items than keeping them and hoarding them will give to you. You could always buy these things later on if you end up needing them once you get towards the later parts of the game. But just starting off, selling a lot of items that endgame players might want that you do not need is going to be way more beneficial to you than just hoarding them. So like I said, tip 3, sell things that you do not need as a newbie and you won't even be using for a long time. My fourth tip is to eat food on cooldown. Eating food in this game is extremely important. You get health from doing it, you gain MP from doing it. It's just incredibly important to always eat food on cooldown. So what I'd recommend doing is just going to the marketplace, finding your cheapest like gold quality food if you can afford it. It gives you the most XP gained, and just buy a bunch of it and just eat it on cooldown. So very straightforward, but it is something I wanted to mention here. My 5th tip is do not bind combo skills. I will have a guide coming out later this week that very short, but just kind of explains this a little bit further. But in general, you don't want to bind skills on your hotbar that can be comboed used with combo keys. It's way better to use them from the combo keys in general than to use them from the hotbar. You only really want a hotbar skills that cannot be used unless they're on the hotbar. You maybe want to combine some key consumables, maybe some skills to switch between awakened and unawakened weapons, but for the most part, you want to just use your skills from the combo keys. Now, my 6th tip, it's a very important one, and it's something I slacked on early game and am now working on making it up, and it is to talk to all NPCs with a question mark above their head around the world. This is incredibly important. The reason is because it gives you knowledge of this NPC, so that if you ever want to go to the top right and search where that NPC is, you can do so. But also, the more knowledge you have, the more energy you have. This allows you to do a variety of things in BDO. Having energy is an extremely important resource, and talking to these NPCs with the question marks above their head will help you gain extra energy, and energy is shared. That cap for your energy is shared across all of your different characters, and they each have their own energy bar. So the more energy you gain, the vastly more energy you'll have across your entire account. My number 7 tip is to join a guild. Joining a guild in BDO is way more important than joining guilds in other games. You get so many benefits from joining a guild. You get some passive bonuses to your stats, certain stats depending on how the guild has their stats set up. Mostly to it could be to life skills, it could be to a variety of things. You also can learn from players in the guild. It's a really important thing as a new player. Having people to bounce ideas off of and ask questions is a really, really good thing. You also get paid for being in the guild, which is super cool. The guild has to give you a contract. You can sign the contract and they'll pay you dues for joining the guild, so it can help give you a little bit of passive money. And also, another good thing about being in a guild is that generally, if you're joining a solid guild, it can offer you a little protection, as if you are just trying to go out there and farm and you're just getting attacked by some dude over and over again who wants to be a jerk that day. You can ask guildies to come and help you. If you are not able to switch servers or something, your guild could also declare war on other guilds. It just, again, gives you a whole variety of benefits. So I really think it's a very, very beneficial thing to do early on. I joined a guild within my first couple days of playing, and I am extremely happy that I did that. My number 8 tip is to stay on the ouvea servers, or whatever the name of the new player servers are at any given time, as long as you can. The ouvea servers, which is what they were named when I first started, they're new player servers where PvP is totally disabled. So because of that, you're able to play and learn early on without getting ganked, without getting attacked, and you can just play the game at your own pace and just learn without fear of being attacked, which is a really, really good thing. You also do gain some passive experience bonuses as well that will help you level up very quickly as a new player. You just get a host of benefits from playing on these servers that you will not gain on others. So it is really good to play and stay on these as long as you can. And usually, I think, at least when I started, it was for about a month. And then after that, I had to transfer onto regular servers. So whatever the new player servers are at the time, definitely use those as long as you can. My number 9 tip is making alts. Making alts in BDO is a very good thing for a multitude of reasons. But I'd say, in terms of you guys watching this video, the big thing, excuse me, that alts are good for is to prevent you from having to make your main travel all over God's green earth. There's no fast travel in this game at all. So if you are grinding in one area of the map, right, and you go, okay, I want to log off for the night and I want to do some processing while I log off, instead of taking your main and spending 20 minutes running back to a town, if you just have a life skill alt parked in that town, you can just switch to that character and simply process on that character. So I know me personally, I have one character that's like my farmer and my cook. I have another guy that I use for gathering. I have somebody else that I use basically exclusively for processing. And then I have 2 characters that I plan on parking at bosses eventually, so that when they spawn, I can just swap to those characters really quickly without, again, taking my main and inconveniently running from wherever he is to wherever those bosses are. So having ults early on, very, very good for making just doing majority of things in game very convenient. Also, it gives you access to more energy as well. So when you're setting up like your nodes and stuff early on, which, by the way, I have a node guide on my YouTube channel. You can check that out if you want to learn the basics of that. If you just, want to set up your nodes and your workers and stuff, and you don't have enough energy on one character, you can do it across multiple characters, so you have access to a greater energy pool. So again, ults, very, very important for Black Desert. Now, my number 10 tip, it's going to seem, it's something that was said to me over and over again as a new player, and it's something I want to impart onto you, and is that BDO is a marathon, not a sprint. This is a long-term game. This is not a game that you're just gonna, play for 3 weeks and have everything. The game takes a lot of upfront kind of setup. There's a lot to learn. You have to get your ult set up, your main into a good place, and start getting into a groove of what you want to do. You have to get your node set up, figure out how you want to make silver, good spots for you to grind, start working on gear. The game is just, it is a long-term progression type of video game. It is not a sprint. So if you go into BDO thinking about long-term goals, long-term plans, things that you want to do over time, you'll always feel like you have something to strive for and always feel like you have something to work for, and you won't burn yourself out by trying to do everything at once. Trust me, it is extremely easy because the game is sandboxed and there's so many systems. It's very easy to try to tackle everything at once, and take it from me, my first couple weeks playing BDO, I literally almost got off playing every day with a headache because I tried to tackle so many different things. And then when I finally took a step back, slowed down, and started taking one thing at a time and really looked long term, it helped me kind of get into the game a little bit easier, and I'm having a really, really good time with it. So guys, those are my top 10 tips for new players for Black Desert Online. If you are a new player yourself, or if you're a veteran player and you have any tips for newer players coming to the game, feel free to leave those in the comment section below. If you guys found this video helpful, I'd appreciate if you smacked a like onto it. And to keep up to date with the rest of the BDO content I put on my YouTube channel, as well as other content for MMORPGs, please hit that sub button as well as the bell to keep notifications on. Thank you guys for stopping by today. I very much appreciate it. As always, I'm Dots Gaming, and I'll see y'all in the next one.